It's about 8 o'clock Thursday night, trying to get this upgrade done so that I can get the video up for you. This weekend I was at the USRCCA Nationals, and while I was there, was hanging out with a friend of mine, William from RC Bros, and I had mentioned to him that I wanted a set of his knuckle weight holders. And the reason that I wanted them was for this truck. Now, I had mentioned last week that the shocks, they did well, but I wanted to either loosen them up a little bit or add some weight up front. And I want to do the weight up front first because I do want a little bit of weight bias. I've ran knuckle weights on my hit and run buggy, but I ran the VP weights. Now, those weights required some pretty heavy modification to work with Wraith knuckles, and I wanted to use something that was more of a bolt-on for this truck. So I grabbed a set of his, these are the double ear holders that he sells. They're a very simple piece. They're a very adjustable piece as well if you're wanting to run something that's, if you really want to fine tune your setup. So it's this simple bent aluminum piece, 2 ears on top that slide over top of the Wraith knuckle. And they use the mounting places, for the steering arms to attach this down. And then you use this plate to attach your brass knuckle weights. And William sent me a whole host of different weights here. Now, I'm not going to add all of these into the budget. I'm going to see what I run, and then I'll add that into the budget. But I think right now there's probably $50 worth of brass there. But for the meantime, I'm going to get a set installed, see what I think and how much I want to add, and then I'll add that into the budget at the end. William also sent me a set of his extended Zero Ackerman knuckle arms for the VP knuckles. These move out the steering point just a little bit to give you a little bit more leverage on your steering. And while I'm at it, I'm just going to go ahead and throw these on. I've never ran an extended set like that. I run a pretty good sized servo most of the time, so torque usually isn't my biggest problem, but I figure why not try them. I'll see how I like them, and for $10, you know, why not? It's worth a test. So I'm going to throw these on as well while I'm throwing on these new knuckle weight holders and knuckle weights. Alright, the reason for adding knuckle weight, I think I should explain, is that I want to add the front weight bias to the truck, like I'm sure all of you understand. However, I want to do that without adding rotating mass to the wheels and tires. Now, when you throw a bunch of lead weight inside your tires, like we do a lot of times, or in certain situations, you have to spin that weight. You have to get it moving every time you come to a stop. So now that once you do have it spinning, that rotating mass can help you keep everything moving. However, it is a lot of stress on the drivetrain. When you do something like that, you just add stress all the way back. You can tear up lockers more easily, you can tear up drive shafts, internals in the transmission, and while we do have a fairly beefed up drivetrain here, that doesn't mean that it wouldn't add stress to places that I don't necessarily want to. So that is why I want to use a knuckle weight system instead of adding weight inside the wheels, which would be cheaper. Okay, so the next thing I've done is I've mounted on a pretty good amount of knuckle weight here. I just want to see how exactly this works for clearances with the axial bead lock. Now, I do have a feeling after just taking and test fitting in a full round, that I am going to have some clearance issues with those screw heads. Now, it goes in there with just a little bit of force, and then they fit in there pretty nicely, but what I'm seeing there is just that little bit of rubbing. So what I'm expecting to have to do is clearance the inside of that wheel a little bit. Now, this is by no means drastic modification. I think any of you guys that have a Dremel at home and a sanding drum can probably knock this out. But right now, I'm going to get my sanding wheel out and start hitting these wheels just to see what exactly happens. We never know. But I'm pretty confident that with a little bit of clearancing, that these things will fit in there just fine. So, gonna do just a quick check and see what it looks like on here. Yeah, there definitely is some rubbing, and and I can actually see some shiny spots inside the wheel along these areas where the screws go in. I don't think that sanding these a little bit is going to greatly compromise the wheel's integrity, but I do want to be a little bit careful. And in the end, you know, these wheels may get replaced, but for now, I definitely do want to run them, so I do want to keep them in good working order. But anyway, I'm going to get the sanding wheel out and start taking a little bit off of these. Alright, to do this modification, I have removed the Vanquish hub. I'm going to leave the wheel completely assembled and just do it as it is. It is going to likely take a little bit off of the screw heads, but you know, if I do it while it's assembled, at least those will be lined up for now. And every time I dismount and remount, I'm going to have to redo that and line them back up properly. I've got the knuckle weights and everything mocked up in this wheel. I tested everything, and it spins very nice and freely, no binding at all. So I feel comfortable with how I've got everything set up at this time. Now I've also set up the other side with the exact same setup. And well, right now I've got these bolts shown on the front side. I actually ended up putting those in through the back to make everything spin freely on the wheel. One little thing there. So, but I weighed this setup here, and it came out at 2.25 ounces. So that gives me a total added weight of 4.5 ounces to this truck. It should improve my weight bias a little bit to the front and increase my crawlability. So, looking forward to running this truck this weekend at the Goat Hill King of the Goats race. And I think this truck has a real good chance of making a good showing. I of course hope to put down a low time, but you know, you never know. It can be anybody's weekend. So I do think this thing will perform well, and I do hope to get a little bit of video. I'm also planning on doing maybe just a little bit of tire testing that isn't shown up in this video, but we'll see. It's just so that I can help make some decisions down the road with exactly what I want to run in this truck. But for now, that's it for this week. We will see you guys later. I'll run the total budget at the end with exactly the amount of weight and everything that I'm running here. So if you guys have any question or anything, let me know. And other than that, we will see you next Thursday for updates on this, and you can check out through the week for updates on all the other builds that I have going at the moment. So we'll see you guys later.